What's up, y'all? Listen, we are back with the what did they call it? The mid-season premiere of Tyler Perry's Sisters, season 8, episode 12. Pull the trigger. Y'all, before I start, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell so you can be you can be notified on every video that I drop. Anyway, so the guy who's following Andy, oh, sorry. So the guy, Andy, is still being followed by that guy. And y'all, she actually using the tactics that Fatima showed her. Okay, Andy, you can kind of defend yourself. We're here for it. So we find out that he was asked by Robin to follow Andy. His name is Bird. And Andy actually recognizes him. I'm sorry, y'all. Andy actually recognizes him. And Robin comes down to the parking lot as well. And Robin tells Bird he's supposed to be hidden. Now, meanwhile, Bird eyes are burning because he was pepper sprayed. So he was like, can I go wash my eyes? Andy asked both of them why. Robin told him, yeah, you can go ahead and do what you need to do. And so Robin tells Andy, because he wanted her to be safe, he didn't want her to end up like Gary did. And so Robin tells Andy, at this moment, Andy thinks that Robin is trying to control him. And Robin was like, I'm not trying to control you. He's just acting as her attorney. And in that moment, she actually fires him. And so he was really upset because she was like, you're acting like Gary. You're trying to control my every move. What I do, where I go. And she fired him as her attorney. So Andy gets a call from Fatima to come to the hospital to check on Karen. We're going to put a pin right there. So Lucretia comes in the door, and we're back at Danny's house. Remember last Danny was having that panic attack. And so Lucretia comes into the door. She sits on the floor with Danny, and she tells Danny that, when you call me, I immediately call 911. So at this moment, we don't know if she's still having a panic attack or a heart attack, but it looks like it's a panic attack. So Lucretia is asking her, what happened? What sparked what happened? She was like, it was Tony. She said, did y'all have an argument? And Danny was like, yes. So she tells Lucretia what's been happening between her and Tony. And oh, my bad, y'all. I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. So Lucretia, I think her name is Cretia. Cretia is asking Danny to just breathe in and out. Just breathe. But, Danny is also, explaining to her, just to try to get her mind off of what's happening in the moment. She's explaining to her what happened between her and Tony. And at this point, I'm going to need Danny to wear tops that really fit because I'm tired of seeing her titties out, but whatever. It's neither here or there, okay? So, okay, this was what was so confusing to me. Because how are we back at Zach's house? I thought that they were on their way to the hospital. So Fatima talks to Karen about showing up. Zach, so they're, Karen and Fatima finna get into it again. And Zach slipped up to say that Fatima was pregnant. And child, when Karen heard that, she started having contractions. And then we went to the hospital. I was like, my Lord. So, and y'all, even in that part, production was so choppy with that because that should have been the first thing they showed on the screen before, they should have showed, this is how they should have did it. They should have showed that situation with Andy being followed and all of that. After that, after the Creature situation, then they should have showed this situation, how we got to Karen getting to the hospital, what happened to put Karen in, to allow Karen to have these contractions or whatever. Then we should have had Fatima call Andy to come over to the hospital. Like, this was so choppy to me. But anyway, the EMT has arrived at Danny's house. He tells her that her pressure is slightly elevated. The EMT tells Creature that Danny has a panic disorder and that he sees it all the time, and a lot of people think that it's cardiac arrest, and it's not. And Danny is like, well, what are y'all talking about? Let me know. And so she asked, am I gonna die? And he was like, no, you're having a panic attack. And the EMT guy was, slightly rude on his bedside manner, but after they tell Danny what they tell her, they then leave. So she tells Lucretia, you can go back to your date. Then in this moment, we find out that Lucretia is not dating a man, but she dates women. So Danny tells her, hey, I wish I was, in a lesbian relationship. She was like, as long as you're dealing with people, you gonna always deal with something, man, woman, cat, dog, whatever. You gonna always deal with something. So, in the hospital room, remember we left Hayden trying to smother Gary. Gary wakes up. And so Gary was like, oh, hey, bro, I came to check on you. I was like, it's so phony. He was like, I just wanted to see, if you needed anything. I was trying to prop up your pillow because the bedside manner here is trash, yada, yada, yada. No, you're trash. And so is your friend that's laying in that bed. And I don't feel sorry for him at this point. I don't care what happens to Gary, okay? So Gary asked Hayden, did you need anything? And Hayden told him he came to talk to him about Tamara. Gary said, who is Tamara and who are you? And so then Hudson finally comes back in and rushes Hayden out of the room. And so Hayden was like, well, why are you trying to rush me out of the room? And what's wrong with Gary? And why can't he remember? And yada, yada, yada. So Hudson then tells Hayden that Gary has some memory loss. And I was like, I don't know, why would you tell that creep that, but whatever. Anyway, so we're back we're on the, I guess, the other side of the hospital, because they all at the same hospital. So we're at the labor and delivery. Zach is pacing back and forward and back. He's nervous. And so he sees the nurse and he asks her, how is Karen? And she was like, well, the doctor that we have on call tonight is a really good doctor. He's going to take great care of her. I'll let you know once we find out something. And so Fatima asks Zach to call Aaron. And of course, he doesn't want to. But Fatima reminds Zach that he is the father of one of Karen's babies. And I was like, well, when y'all gonna call Miss Lisa and tell Miss Lisa what's going on, baby? Because I need Miss Lisa. So we get back to the basketball court, where Sabrina and Rich are still talking about the sample. Now, again, production to me is a bit choppy, because I thought that he was leaving. I thought in the last episode he was actually gonna be on his way to go, talk to someone at the doctor's office. But Rich is nervous and he said he will find out tomorrow. So Sabrina's phone rings and Creature is on the other end of the phone. She tells Sabrina Danny had a panic attack and for her to come over to her house because she needs a friend right now. So Rich overhears this and he calls Tony and tells Tony to head over to Danny's house because Danny had a panic attack. Um, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Okay, whatever though. We get in the room with Karen. We find out that she has false labor, and the doctor tells her to relax. The doctor asks her, what does she do? What does she need to do to alleviate all of her stress? And then we leave that she tells him, the stuff that she do on a daily, but he tells her, you have to decrease your stress levels. So Krisha asks Danny if she's feeling better, because then Danny must have went to go take a shower, come out, and Danny thanks her for coming. Sabrina and Rich comes in the door, knocks on the door, and they come. Krisha opens the door, and it's them. So Danny asks Sabrina, "Why did you bring the op? Why did you bring Rich?" And so she was like, "As long as he's Tony's friend, he's the op." And so then we get another knock on the door. Now at this point, Krisha has left. We get a knock on the door, and it's Tony. Danny doesn't know that Rich calls Tony. Neither did Sabrina. So Tony runs in, pushes Sabrina out the way, and he's like, "Are you okay? This and this and this and that." And immediately, instantly, Danny is aggravated. So am I. So Danny tells Tony to leave. Yes, his feelings are hurt, but you, as she stated, you are the reason. You are the reason. You gotta go. So they left. Him and Rich left. And then that's in the next scene, child. Karen comes out. The doctor brings her out in a wheelchair. Zach is just overreacting. Why is she in a wheelchair? It's just like, Zach, really? Like, oh, he is so annoying. And she tells them that it was a false alarm. Andy comes in. She checks on what is that? Karen. She checks on Karen. Karen tells her she's okay. She had a false alarm, and then she tells them she's gonna go see Gary in ICU. And they was like, why? She didn't answer the question. Of course, she's being evasive, and she leaves. And it's like, this what got you caught up the first time, not talking. This the stupidity I'm talking about. Being secretive when it comes to Gary. Now she feels bad for him, and anyway, Aaron walks in the waiting room or whatever, and Karen is like, "Well, did y'all call everybody on my phone list?" Fatima was like, "Well, blame me. I told Zach to call Aaron because he needed to know he needed to be here." And so the doctor tells Karen not to argue with the father of her children. Aaron pipes up and was like, "Well, we not arguing. So Zach, did you argue with her?" It was just, it was too much. He piping up. Him and Zach get to arguing, and it's like, girl, why did y'all write this in here like this? Like, why did y'all write this? This is stupid. So Fatima tells them to calm down. They left, and then we get back to Danny's. And Danny is aggravated because she feels as though Tony doesn't consider her feelings. He always wants to, she feels like every time she talks to him, it's about therapy, this and that, and yada, yada, yada. And she has a therapist. So anyway, Tony is at the bar with Rich. He says that he want to be there for Danny, but why does she have to be so stubborn? No, you do too much sometimes. Yeah, she's stubborn, but you do way too much if you ask me. He said he just want to be there for her. So then he asked Rich how long does it take, and Rich tell him how long it takes for her to decide to get there. It's up to Danny. It is not up to you. You just have to sit and wait. So Rich tells Tony something could be wrong with his sperm. They both get a. I mean, Tony gets a call from Jordan, and he tells them Penelope has been arrested for stabbing Gary. He puts Jordan on speaker, and they find out what happened to Penelope. So then Robin goes into Hayden's office. Hayden is in his office. He says Hayden is never in his office. Hayden is still at the hospital. So Robin called Hayden to tell him, hey, Andy won't be back for a while. She's they extended Andy's leave indefinitely, and that he has to continue to cover her cases. So while he's on the phone with Robin, Andy's getting ready to walk up so she can go see Gary. He hangs up the phone. Hayden manages to be a BIT to Andy, of course, and gloat and says, I'm going to take care of your stuff, and I'm going to make sure I take care of Fatima or whatever. And so while he's running his mouth, they get a text about Penelope, and this what an episode end. I think something happened before that, but at this point, this what an episode ended for me. This episode wasn't good. Maybe it needed to be a filler because it was just coming back on. These storylines are becoming annoying. I'm trying to figure out what's the end goal, what's going to happen with Andy. I'm hoping that, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm hoping that she, even if they let her go, Tyler writes her in, that she starts her own practice, her own law office. I hope that she doesn't have a stain on her name so bad that she's not able to start her own practice. But I'm hoping that Andy is able to start her own practice and do her own thing, and of course have Fatima to work for her until Fatima finishes law school, get her stuff under the belt, and become partner. Like, that will work for me. But whatever. I will say this, I'm glad that Tyler wrote in what's her name being pregnant on here, because we didn't see her take a pregnancy test on here. We just knew that Fatima had symptoms, and we knew she was pregnant based on Fatima. But I was like, okay, this is, it's not, at this point, I do think that Tony and Danny should end. Do not bring Preston back. Danny doesn't need a love interest. Danny needs to really heal. She really needs to heal. That's my take on it. Sabrina, I feel like, I don't know. I really don't know with Sabrina and her storyline and Rich, and I don't know. And I don't know at this point, or even her at the bank. Like, I like her being at the bank with Maurice, but we still need character development on Maurice, because we still have him playing the same person that has not evolved since season 1. So he's still the same crass person. I don't know what Robin's problem is. Hayden is the villain. Him and Gary each are the villain. Robin, we need to see what his real motive is. It just seemed like his motive maybe is not to hurt her, to hurt Andy, but it's just he wants to sleep with her. He still wants to maintain this sexual relationship with her, and it's like, sir, get over yourself. Anyway, y'all, that's my take on it. If you think otherwise, just go ahead, y'all, drop it in the comments. This episode just wasn't good to me. Maybe I'm tripping, but to me, it just wasn't good to me. Tomorrow, I should have both episodes of Fatima up. It's going to be later on tomorrow because, I have to go back to work tomorrow. And I will try to have all the Queen's men up as well. Friday, I will have the second part of Bell Collective up. Saturday, I'm going to try to at least do 1 or 2 more episodes of maybe episode 6 and 7 of The Best Man. And Sunday, I'm not for sure if I want to say the Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine come back on Sunday. And I will have those 2 up on Sunday night as well. So it's going to be busy, but just look for it. I promise y'all, I'll come back in better spirits. Like, my spirit is not where I need it to be today, I guess, based on what I had to wake up to. And based on I just been relaxing all day, just kind of moving in slow motion, trying to get everything going. Realizing that today not Sunday, but today is actually Wednesday. But, just thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. If y'all need to watch any of my older, my videos I posted, please go ahead and watch them. Y'all like, comment, please subscribe. I thank y'all for everything y'all do. Please keep me in the algorithm. Share it if you want. Whatever it is you need to do, please do it. And I will definitely be seeing y'all tomorrow with the Thursday lineup. So